What is going on, everybody? Welcome into Wager Alarm. I'm Howard Bender. With me, of course, Craig Mish. And this is our NFL win total series that we've got here for you. And this brings us to the NFC South. Very interesting group here. Falcons, Panthers, the defending champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And who's the team I'm missing here?
New Orleans.
Oh, yeah, those guys. They can't decide on their quarterback. I can't be, forced into remembering who they are even.
True.
So, and I'm sorry, all that Who Dat Nation that's all pissed off at me now for saying that. But things good, Craig? You ready to jump into the South here?
Yeah, 17-game season in the NFL this year. We're looking at every team and their win total, and a lot of these lines are on FanDuel, but obviously this is something that you can shop if you see us discuss a line and you can get a better line somewhere else with better juice or even a better number. Of course, that's encouraged. On top of that, a lot of variance as far as things that we look at. We look at win percentage of teams the previous year, look at turnovers, turnover margin, things that are a little bit lucky. And I think that we're going to have some fun with this one today for sure.
All right. Well, then let's kick it off down in Atlanta. FanDuel line here says 7.5 wins is the mark for Arthur Smith and the new look Falcons. So, new coaching staff, new offensive schemes. Smith did some great things in Tennessee. He doesn't have that same personnel, but what are we looking at here? We're looking at Mike Davis, who took over for Christian McCaffrey last year in Carolina. He's in the backfield. Matt Ryan, obviously, under center. No Julio Jones now, but joining Calvin Ridley and Russell Gage is by far and away the fantasy community's favorite tight end in the entire world, Kyle Pitts. Now, you're a Gators guy. So is Kyle Pitts the difference maker here, Craig? Is that going to tilt you on the over?
Their defense isn't good. They what I know the Falcons for, honestly, Howard, is, and I know that they went to the Super Bowl, what was it, a few years ago when they played against New England? But it feels like the Falcons are always firing somebody, whether it's an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator or a coach. Like, I just feel like other than that one season that they had winning the Super Bowl, there just hasn't been, for me, a ton of consistency there. I don't think Julio Jones' loss was a big deal. I think Kyle Pitts is going to be a star in the NFL, but this is going to take time. And another thing with him is that he wasn't always on the field with Florida. I'm a little bit worried about that with him playing with the Falcons as well. But you know what? This is, this one in particular is probably a pass for me because I don't really have a strong opinion on them because I could see them going 8-9. I don't think that's unreasonable. But I don't feel strongly enough one way or the other because there is one team in the division that I don't like at all, and I'm going to be going under on, and there's a chance I think that they could get in on them. So I want to be careful about that.
All right. Well, that team is not the Carolina Panthers, is it, with their 7.5 number?
No.
I'm very bullish on the Panthers' offense this year. Very, very bullish on their offense. Enough to tilt me on the over here at 7.5. I mean, if McCaffrey stays healthy, I am a Sam Darnold fan. I think the Jets made a mistake getting rid of him and grabbing Zach Wilson at that point. I thought that was not the right move that they needed to do, and it is what it is. But now you've got DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. Terrace Marshall Jr. is the kid who's going to play out of the slot. Just a lot of good things to like about this Carolina offense. Can you tilt on the over with me, Craig?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you here. They have the best offensive coordinator in the NFL, and Joe Brady. I mean, Joe Brady just got Teddy Bridgewater paid again. I mean, really, like I think that there's a chance he turns Sam Darnold around. It may take some time. But the Panthers' offense was not the problem at all last year, even with Teddy Bridgewater. Now, toward the end of the year, things started getting a little ugly, but they didn't have McCaffrey for most of the year either. So I'm with you here. I think Carolina is a team that's very well coached, maybe one of the better coaching staffs in the NFL with Matt Rule and Brady. And I'm surprised that Brady did not get a head coaching gig in the offseason. I really don't know what happened there, but I know he interviewed Howard with a bunch of teams. So this is probably his final year in Carolina. He's going to be a head coach in the NFL. I'm with you here. I'm going to lean over on Carolina. I think 9 wins, very possible, maybe even making the playoffs, which is insane considering how bad they were supposed to be last year.
All right, so you're leaning away from you don't like the Atlanta Falcons. You like the over here on Carolina. Are the Saints your under team?
Yes.
9 wins. Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston, no Michael Thomas.
Big problems coming. Yeah. Big problems coming for them.
Like, if you're a defense, why wouldn't you just stack the box and stop Alvin Kamara?
Yeah, and on top of it, I think that they're going to make a huge mistake letting Jameis Winston play quarterback at all. I know that it's so funny because the fantasy community just remembers this guy chucking touchdowns, and my guess is that he'll probably play along with the coaching staff initially, but he was the same at Florida State too. You are not going to change who Winston is. I think there's a pretty good chance that eventually Taysom Hill is just the guy going forward. And what does that mean? It could mean some wins, but it's not going to be by a large margin. They're going to be playing very close games, Howard, if that's the case with Taysom Hill at quarterback. Why? Because he's going to be running. They're going to be running the ball, dink and dunk all over the place. And those games will be low scoring, and it'll be 21-20 and 23-22. Like, a lot of those are coming. And by the way, last year, the Saints were second in the NFL in turnover margin, which means they protected the ball better than any other team in the NFC, +9. I think that number is going to flip. And they only won how many games last year? 10, 11 games?
Yeah.
I think they're going under this year on the Saints. And I think that there's the future is in question. Their receiving isn't really that good. You mentioned Michael Thomas. You know he's gone eventually. I don't know what in the world happened to him in 2 years. But Traquan Smith, I know they have other names there of players that I'm not familiar with.
Marquez Callaway, man, he's the darling of fantasy now.
Yeah, he'll be a bust. Yeah, I think the Saints, to me, at best, are an 8-win team this year, and they will not make the playoffs. And I am going to go under on that 9.
Yeah, I think losing Joe Lombardi as the QB coach and he helping out as a coordinator. He's not really labeled as the offensive coordinator, but Joe Lombardi he had a big impact on this team in the passing game, and him not being there is going to be I think it's going to be detrimental for the Saints. So I like that for you. Does that mean that you look at Tampa Bay and say 11.5 wins? You want the over?
Well, I was completely wrong on them last year. I was like, you can't win a Super Bowl just by throwing Tom Brady and Gronk and all his friends out on the field and winning. But here's the truth of the matter here. For me to get the Saints right, I don't need to get the Bucs right. They could still win 10, 11 games, and that won't affect the Saints. So with Tampa Bay, it's obviously very hard to repeat. The COVID year in the NBA kind of reared itself this year, and it showed that everything that happened last year, you just throw it away. I don't know if that's going to be the case in the NFL, but I do think that there were some quirkiness to the season last year that got Tampa Bay to that Super Bowl. So I think the number is right. I think that's probably about where they should be. I may lean under, and I still probably could get away with it, with maybe Carolina being on Tampa Bay's heels. So an 11-win Bucs, a 10-win Panthers, a 7-win Falcons, and an 8-win Saints. It's pretty much the division that I see here. 2 unders, an over, and maybe a push.
Not strong at all. So you're saying you're not investing in Tampa Bay to win the Super Bowl again?
No. But again, I'm not the one to talk to on Tampa Bay because I was completely wrong on them.
I was too. I had the same. It was exactly the same. And it was like that constant debate of, is it Belichick or is it Brady? And is Brady going to be able to gel with Bruce Arians? I was stunned to see Bruce Arians basically put his ego in check and say, you know what? This is the scheme I like to run, but Tom, why don't you make some adjustments on it here? And they listened to Brady on all the personnel decisions. He put his best friends together. Gio Bernard now, the latest, the next James White.
Could be.
So, all right. So Tampa Bay, you can go with the 11-win season and look at the under there. I like the Saints on the under as well. I think they are falling apart Love Carolina with the over. The Falcons.
Maybe lean under, but I could see them winning 8. I don't have a strong opinion on that one either.
All right. Well, then let's have some fun with the West. How about that? That's going to come up in the next episode. So big thank you to everybody for watching. Remember, you can catch all of these live streams at wageralarm.com. If you're just stepping in here today for the first time and you're seeing the NFC South, we've got the entire AFC is already up. The NFC East and the NFC North are also there for you at wageralarm.com. But for tonight, that's all we got for you here for Craig Mish. I'm Howard Bender. We'll catch you next time.